Everybody, and welcome to our Design Review Board meeting for August. We've got a pretty large agenda tonight, so we're going to try to move through pretty quickly. But before we get started, I'm going to ask Jason if he'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ask you to stand and look to your left. The flag's over here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just a couple ground rules before we get started tonight. These meetings are televised live, so when you approach the podium, please let us know who you are and the business you represent. And if you haven't done so already, we please ask you to turn off your cell phones. So the first application tonight is DRB 2019-13, the application of IM Health, Walker Family Properties at 372 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne. And I'm not sure if the applicant is here just yet, but we'll call them out a little later on, just in case we're running late. So we'll jump to number 2 is DRB 2019-27, the application of the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania Health System at 145 King of Prussia Road in Wayne. And this is a new one for us, a bus stop shelter. Never had that one before, so we'll give it a shot. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
So my name is Mike Kissinger, and I work at Pannoni, but here on behalf of the University of Pennsylvania Health System. So I have here, as part of a condition of our approval, we had to provide a SEPTA bus station here on the corner of this. Ironically, this is the SEPTA driveway to the train line, or to the 92 line. And right now there is a bus stop on the other side of the street. Basically, it's a sign that people stand at. So during the condition of our approval, we're actually putting in a shelter and moving that stop to our side of the road. So there is, if you've driven by recently today, there are a retaining wall that was formed up and constructed in that corner, and the pad sitting waiting for the bus shelter to be put in. We talked to SEPTA. SEPTA was not interested in making it a SEPTA station. That just means it's Penn's responsibility to maintain the structure and pick the structure. I did include in the application, we did include a spec sheet of one that we propose to use, but I'll do one better, and it's the same one we use at Chester County Hospital in Westchester. So I will pass up to you guys this packet. And the last photo in the packet is
Thank you, sir.
the Chester County.
Great, thank you.
So it's a little bit of a dark picture on the TV screen, but again, it's it's glass, gray, no signage, and that's what we're hoping to put in.
Is there any lighting on that?
No,
No lighting?
no.
Okay.
There are lights along King of Prussia Road proposed, but no lighting associated with the actual
Okay.
shelter.
Will it have a bench similar, or will it be two? And in this image, we have one sort of on the half side, right?
It'll be
Right-hand
exactly
side.
that picture.
Okay.
I guess the non-bench side is for handicap?
Yes, so that's where the door would be, and that's where they would have that
And is that glass in the rear?
glass in the rear.
Glass on the side panels too?
Looks like glass on the side and on the rear, but open on the front.
How about a trash can?
You know what? We don't have a trash can, so
Might be a good idea.
we can do that.
Yeah. That's what you guys think.
And it's by the same manufacturer as this Brosco for the other ones that you're specifying?
It is the exact same spec. It was just when you look at some of the spec sheets, you see that some of them have more ornate glass.
Right.
Or
Some graphics on it.
we don't plan to do any of that. What you see in the actual picture is how we plan to implement it.
Right.
So you guys will be responsible for the maintenance and, okay.
Yes.
Questions, comments?
You're not going to be selling panels for ad space? Or
No.
You guys all right with it?
What is the usual upkeep of one of these types of shelters?
I think it's usually really done by a maintenance crew just to blow out the leaves and things that might get stuck in there, pick up the trash that may not make it into the can or items like that.
It's
if it gets,
a powder-coated gray aluminum, that's what it says in this one packet. What's the standard life for that type of equipment?
I don't know about a standard life. We have some in Devon that we installed that I think are for a different client that have been there about 10 years. But again, I think it's up to, if it becomes an issue, I'm sure that we'll get a phone call and get out there and paint it. So maybe myself, but hey, Steve.
That's I just want to make sure that it doesn't become an eyesore at any point in time.
Understood.
Our additional concern is just that there'd be safety vinyl, sort of at, I can't remember the specific height that's required so that it does create something that I see, so I'm not going to walk into the glass. I'm thinking specifically of the two side panels, right?
Okay.
It's in the direction of people traveling, and so to that point, I'm sure you've seen it elsewhere, right? There's going to be something roughly at around 36 to 48 inches, that there's a safety vinyl that just shows that this isn't completely transparent. It keeps people from breaking their nose as they run into that thing.
Right. More like a reflective type strip through there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, and I think, I would, when we take this to vote, I'll just say that it's a conditional
Yeah.
approval per the application of a safety vinyl
Okay.
or safety film,
Mhm.
for that reason.
Great.
Okay.
What else? Comments? You guys are good?
Yes, sir.
Sir, any comments or questions for the board?
No, thank you.
No? Jason, would you like
All
to
right.
make a motion?
Sure.
Thank you.
So in the matter of DRB 2019-27, the application for a bus shelter for the location at 145 King of Prussia Road for the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania Health System, I move to vote with a conditional approval that a safety vision panel or vinyl be applied on the side, the short sides of the bus shelter.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Oops. Tim?
There was also mention of the trash can. Is that part of this as well then? or-
Just mention it.
We can make it part of it if you wanted to.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So again, so in the matter of DRB 2019-27, for the application of a bus shelter, we ask that it's a conditional approval providing a safety vinyl for vision glass and an adjacent public trash can.
Okay, all right, second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thanks. Mike, you okay?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
the
much.
trash receptacle is actually part of the spec, so we'll get that added in.
Perfect.
Thank
Great.
you very much. Have
Thank
a
you
great
very
night.
much. Thank you, sir. Next on the agenda is DRB 2019-28, the application of 7-Eleven at 301 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for 2 wall signs and a ground sign. Hi there.
Hello, my
Hi.
name is Stephanie Tuccio, and I'm here on behalf of the contractor Pro Signs.
Okay, Stephanie, I know you were just in here maybe 2 months ago, with a few things. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah.
Okay, so 7-Eleven bought out the Sunoco store A+, so there's been multiple locations around the area. So they want to just replace the A+ signage with 7-Eleven for the name change. So there's going to be the front facade sign here. They just want to replace that with 7-Eleven. And there's going to be an illuminated sign cabinet, and then these are just panels for their logo on the sides. And that one's identified here on the site plan. And then they also want to install a new sign on the side elevation. I think that's on North Aberdeen Avenue. And that's shown here on the site plan. And then they also just want to reface the existing monument signs. They want to put Sunoco and 7-Eleven on there, and those are also illuminated.
Okay, why don't we look at them one by one?
Sure.
Okay, so why don't we start the one on the front of the building?
Yep, A1.
Okay. All right. So it looks like the previous Sunoco had the yellow on the ends. Yeah. And mean, it's pretty big, although the signage itself isn't that big, the 7-Eleven signage.
Yeah, and you're conforming to the same dimensions, right?
Yeah, so this is a more detailed,
I'm sorry, Stephanie, can we maybe use this, or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just need to,
Whatever works best.
yeah,
thank you.
okay, you bet. It's gonna have to be-
So, so yeah, the existing sign, this area here, it is 72 inches by 36 inches, and that's a total of 18 square feet. And they want to replace the sign cabinet itself with a 36 by 36, which is only 9 square feet. So the sign cabinet itself is actually going to be smaller. And then obviously just their logo on either side. Here you can see a night view here of the sign, and you can see that it's only the sign cabinet that's proposed as illuminated.
We're gonna have the issue of the opaque on that. Want to mention that?
What is it?
About the opaque, the 7-Eleven sign's gotta be opaque.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess it's gonna work. It's gonna have to work. Yeah, it's definitely, I think you've been here enough times. You know that the background, the white at nighttime should be black.
Okay,
And
so it's
LED.
just the 7-Eleven that should
Yes,
be lit up?
yes.
Okay,
Right,
So,
yeah.
I can let them know.
yeah. You're gonna probably pick up some lighting just from the building itself. And I'm sure
And the
some of
canopy.
The canopy of the-
yeah,
of the
you're
gas
gonna see.
station.
Yeah,
But this sign doesn't go in front of the columns, it's just presented that way because you couldn't get the image behind the,
Right, yeah, yeah.
it's not gonna project off the building.
No,
Okay.
okay.
So I think for calculation of square footage of signage, do we feel, I mean, you're conforming to the same 72 inches long, even though the sign box, as far as what's illuminated, is just going to be that 36 by 36 square. But as far as that's branded color, that's branding essentially, so that still kind of calculates the
sign.
signage? Yeah, that's the
The
sign.
whole.
The whole
yeah,
thing's the
72
sign.
Right.
Is one sign.
Okay, I just
I
wanna
don't
make-
see how you can distinguish it.
No,
any
no.
other
Yes, okay, I just wanted to make
So
sure.
it's
we were-
18 square feet?
Yes.
The new sign, just like the old one, 18
Right.
square feet, okay. All right. So do
Which
we
I
have
think the frontage has enough space for that,
Yes.
by my calculation.
Right. Okay. Do we have any other issues with that? Any other comments on that front sign?
The opaque of the white is really my main concern
Yeah.
on that.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. I guess just make sure that when it's hung, you don't see screws or, yeah, everything should be hidden and
Yep.
blind. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so why don't we move to the North Aberdeen side there and take a look at that sign?
So this one, there's no existing sign there, but they want to add it to the store just so that there's sign exposure on North Aberdeen. And that is also proposed as everything being illuminated, so that includes like the green and the white background. But if that's against your regulations, then I can
Yeah.
let them know.
Mhm.
So it's just the 7 and the 11 part that can be illuminated, correct?
So the entirety of the sign could be illuminated if they were willing to sort of deviate from white. Our restriction is just that they can't be white
Okay.
that's being illuminated or sort of backlit, and so then you
Okay.
see a large white piece.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think that's just part of their logo.
Right.
So I'm not sure what other options they have, but I can let them know that if they do something other than a white background, then that's allowed.
Right. I mean, other options, right, like a linear, like gooseneck that shines back at it or something, so they can
Okay.
keep the white. but
We can
maybe-
have the same issue with the logo once you get to the monument sign as well, too, so.
Yeah, right.
It's the same logo
It's the
with the
same
same
issue.
white
Yeah.
issue.
Yep.
Okay.
And I guess, Stephanie, that's even for the front of the building, just like
Right.
Jason said, if you want to put goosenecks instead,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll let them know.
all right. And whatever you do, I think, bring back a clean set of plans for the township files. So I
Okay.
guess we'll give them a little leeway there if they want to change. Yeah. Okay. All right, so the
Can I
sign
ask
on the side. go ahead.
For A2, is this in addition to those poster signs? Is the intent to maintain the poster signs in their sort of current location?
And the reason why I ask is that the right spot for that sign? And the only reason why I say that is I believe like the propane and or the vacuum tanks or whatever is right there. Would you want to bring that sort of plan right a little bit more?
So it looks like, I don't know the scope of work specific, but just based off of the drawings, it looks like they're proposing to move this sign over a little bit so that they can fit, the wall sign there. But I can verify that for you if they're gonna keep these signs.
Well, really, under code, they're not allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
That's-
So they
What's
should.
not allowed?
The ones on North Aberdeen, the two advertising signs, I mean, they should go.
I was going to say, we can't have a nonconformity and then add to it with
Yeah.
the sign, so they need
Right.
to come into compliance, and if they're coming into compliance by adding a new sign, then the other ones need to go.
Yeah,
Okay, so they need to remove these two?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
And the other, just touching back on the background illumination,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter the color, on the background cannot be illuminated. So you can't, it's not just white, it's any color.
Right.
Only the letters and logos.
Are allowed to be-
Background has to
Which
remain
leads to the
opaque.
question that I would have, though, if the logo itself
Is white.
is that green plus the white, then
Right.
does that constitute the logo such that if that's illuminated, it is still valid?
Then everybody's going to argue that everything outside of the letter and, when I think of logo, I think it's an actual physical shape of something, not that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I think, those two advertising signs are gonna have to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say what Jason was saying, I think that 7-Eleven sign should be repositioned.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about that?
Repositioned to
Re-
where?
At least centered.
Center, or at least a little more plan right,
Yeah.
Like centered between the window and the back of the building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because centered on the building with the window there doesn't make sense either.
Nope.
So centered
Right.
between where the window, plus maybe even a border of the same squaring out the same amount of
Top and bottom.
the linear footage between the window and the front, giving that same type of margin on the back, and then center between those two.
Right.
No idle.
Okay.
Just move that.
Which
Yeah.
really just moves it just a couple feet.
Well, I think that, and also, so with regard to that entire elevation, right? We're gonna remove the poster signs, you're gonna center the 7-Eleven sign, and then sort of the subsequent piece that's left over, I believe it's the idle, like no diesel engine idling sign, then somehow subsequently gets centered between, say, the 7-Eleven sign and the window then, right? You'll still need that sign to probably be present.
Yeah. So where would you prefer the no idle sign?
So.
I mean, do you just kind of want everything centered and?
So yeah, you're doing like two, the 7-Eleven logo gets shielded, if you think the left edge of the building, right? And the
Okay.
left edge of the window,
Okay.
right? So you're gonna center the 7-Eleven in there. And then sort of the right edge of that 7-Eleven sign, and again, the window, you'll center that diesel sign.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or no idling truck, I think that's what it might be.
Yeah. Okay.
But again, if 7-Eleven feels that the sign should be somewhere else, I guess
Okay.
they can do it. So
It just needs
we're
to
just
look
making a
good.
suggestion. Yeah. it
Yeah.
needs to
Right.
look
Like,
good.
I think that's what we're talking about
Yeah.
here, trying to just give the optics and make the
Yeah.
optics look clean.
Okay.
Okay.
So same deal, opaque background, or if they want to go gooseneck, we'll give them a little option there, so.
Okay.
All right.
And then the last
We good on that?
one.
On North Wayne Avenue, or North Aberdeen, we're good.
So they were also proposing the Sunoco background as illuminated, but is that also not allowed?
No, just the logo and the arrow, I guess. And that's gonna
Well, I
be
mean,
black.
that goes to the previous comment with regards that the logo can be. In this case, the logo's not white, so it can be illuminated. We get into sort of a gray area.
Well, it depends on what the logo is. I'd say
Right.
the logo in this situation, especially after we talk with Kevin, what he's talking about there, which makes sense to me, would be the Sunoco logo would be the arrow through the diamond,
Right.
not the blue background.
Right.
Right.
Okay,
So the blue needs to be black.
got it. What if,
At night.
Right.
It can be blue during the day, but at night it can't shine through.
Right, okay. What about for, say for this one, say everything was illuminated except for the white? So say the 7 and the 11 were illuminated and the green square was eliminated. Is that allowed? I don't know if they're able to do that, but I'm just trying to give them options.
Yeah.
I would say
Yeah.
no.
I would say anything white's got to be black.
Well, and I would say the green is just a background as well. If we're talking about the logo being the 7 and the word 11 through the 7.
You don't think the box is considered a logo, the green box itself?
If the green boxes, then the white inside of it is also a logo.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I see that.
Right.
I think you accurately, in looking at the Sunoco, it's the diamond in there. In the Wawa, it's the goose.
Yeah.
We have a shape is not a logo in this
Right.
case. So I would disagree with that. And so, no, only the 7 and the 11 can be illuminated. Everything else is considered the background.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good.
Okay.
All right.
That's it.
That's it? You guys, any other questions for Stephanie? Comments? You guys all right? Jason, you all right? You okay? All right, just, like I say, come back with some plans. That you
Okay.
guys figured all out, the location of the North Aberdeen sign, what they're gonna do internally lit, goosenecks, all that kind of stuff, so.
Okay.
Just
Would we
so-
have to come back to another meeting, or would we just?
No, I
like,
think
submit
you're fine.
Revised plans?
Kevin?
Depending on how you're going to frame your motion.
Okay.
If you're, I'm okay
Yeah, I'm
with
not
them
sure
not having
how
to
to
come
do
back.
this one.
If you're concerned about location and the lighting of the goosenecks, then if you want them to come back, then.
Well, Stephanie, what's the time frame? I mean, are they hot to get this up and running, or you feel more comfortable coming back next month just to play it safe?
Could it be to be determined, or do I have to decide now if we're coming back?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, ultimately, you would need to leave here with a recommendation if you're not going to come back. So it can't be to be determined. We leave it now, because the board then needs to figure out how they're going to create the motion.
Yeah.
If we were to make the motion that the logo as defined by the board is the number 7 and the words 11, and that's the limitation of what can be illuminated, then, we can, do the conditional.
That's actually a code issue. So I would say that it's outside the purview of this board to render an interpretation on the zoning ordinance. So, I mean,
I
from
just
from
was
that
looking-
standpoint, I think if you're talking about location and plans, that's a different issue. I heard the lighting. Those would be things that would be coming back to this board, not an interpretation on the zoning ordinance.
And I just did a quick search of the code, and I don't see any definition of logo from which I could operate upon, so.
So I think then the safer bet and all parties involved is that we would see it next month.
Yeah, I think so, too.
Okay.
All right. All right, good. Okay. Tim, you want to take it?
So we are,
Steph, you're okay? Any other questions for us?
Just with how you were saying it went before the zoning ordinance?
No, it's
The-
a zoning
the
ordinance
illumination.
provision. So this board does not have the discretion to waiver on zoning ordinance provisions. That's only at the zoning hearing board.
Oh, got it, okay. All right, I'm good.
Okay.
so then we're continuing to next month.
Yes.
In the matter of DRB 2019-28, move to continue until next month.
Okay, here's a second.
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you
you
very
next
much.
month.
Okay.
All righty. And I guess, Stephanie, you're going to have to get your plans in by,
We're continued, so I guess you could.
well, that's
bring
true.
them to us.
Peggy, do you need those by August 21st, the new plans, or,
If it's a continuation.
I mean, it probably won't give her enough time,
okay,
so as long as we have it before the meeting.
yes, okay.
Okay.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
You too. Next on the agenda is DRB 2019-29, the application of Sky Taekwondo Martial Arts at 530 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a ground sign and a wall sign. Hello, sir. Good evening. Hi.
My name is Joe Kim with ML Sign.
Okay.
And I'm here for the martial arts school.
All right. So it looks like you want to put a wall sign and change the monument sign.
Right, just a face change on the monument.
Okay, so why don't we look at the wall sign first, okay? And nice and loud, all right?
Okay.
Good. Okay, so tell us what you have in mind. What
Okay.
do you plan to do?
We're going to make the martial arts as a channel ladder like this on the raceway.
Okay,
And the logo and the sky taekwondo will be in a sort of a light box type, flush mounted, no raceway.
mhm,
And the signs that says entrance and rear, since there's no entrance and it's on second floor, it'll be a light box type sign with the black vinyl, so the lettering entrance and rear would shine at night.
okay, so light box, channel letter, light box.
Right.
Okay. All right.
What's the name of your business?
ML sign,
No, not your business. What's the name of this business that's, you're making the sign for? What's the full name of the business?
ML sign.
Not your signage company, the
Your
name.
customer.
The
My
customer's name.
customer is Sky Taekwondo.
This guy, Kondo Martial Arts.
It's too much wording.
Yeah, but if that's the name of the business.
Is it?
Yeah, at least it is on the agenda.
Right.
Yeah. So,
But my question is the entrance in the rear,
yeah. Right.
you know, similar to like Cornerstone,
Mhm. Well, they-
bar, liquor.
Right, but if that's their, yeah, the entrance in the rear, I think, is a little bit of a sticking point.
Oh, there's actually
Right.
Yeah.
a question here, because the logo appears to say Sky Martial Arts, as though it's a brand. Is that the case? Gotcha.
Well, what do you guys feel about the entrance in the rear? I mean, they need to get the word out, I guess, that the entrance is in the rear. The previous tenant was at Plank Studio, and I'm pretty sure they had it on the monument sign, Plank Studio, and I'm pretty sure they did entrance and rear. I don't believe they put it on the front of the building.
It's still on there, I believe.
Oh, okay, right. So, I mean, I'm not too keen on having entrance and rear prominently displayed under the sign, but, I mean, just kind of get your guys' take on it. Or if there's a different way to do it.
But I think from just it's a visually cluttered sign,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I just think it's worth us sort of considering that. I would,
I think if you're going to the location,
you know?
Yeah.
you know where the,
Right. Yeah, it's not like
you
it's.
called ahead, or
Sure.
there's information on the website.
Mhm. Yeah, it's not an impulse retail store where you're driving by and.
Correct.
Looking where to go.
Right.
Yeah, people know. Yeah,
So I think you lose it.
just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you altogether. Yeah. I think it'll make things look a lot cleaner.
And then if there's mention of something maybe on the monument sign.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, there's a redundancy in being able to have it on the monument and the sign.
Mm-hmm, sure. Okay. What do you feel about the sign itself?
Fine with it, other than the entrance in the rear.
Again, I think the light box is going to have to be opaque at the top. Yeah. But, so do you understand, we're trying to clean the sign up a little bit. It's a little too cluttered. And that entrance in the rear, it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the signage. It's too much. And the customers are going to know where to go. After they've been there once, they're going to know the entrance is in the rear.
May I ask, is the icon, the circle sign, is that its own light box, or is that part of is it intended to be part of the longer sort of sign box on top? Right, so you see where the circle is of the logo. Right now, it looks as if it's its own piece. So you'd have the circle as one, sign box, then you have the Sky Taekwondo as one light box, and then you have the channel letters as a third element. Right,
Right.
so is that circle piece is its own sign, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 3 pieces, basically.
Well, and it's
One,
currently
two,
the way it's
three.
presented now. It's four
It's
separate
four,
pieces,
yeah,
right?
if we got rid of the one.
We got rid of entrance in the rear. It's
Okay,
three.
all right.
And the other signs on the building are all channel.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it might look, I think it's gonna look pretty good. You guys okay with the dimensions and sizes and stuff?
I got no problem with the dimensions.
Yeah, 17-inch on the raceway, 10-inch on the LED over the top. We're good there. Is your client going to be upset if we take off entrance and rear off that sign?
I'm sure he's not going to be happy, but I think he would rather get the signs up.
Okay,
Sooner,
ASAP.
right.
all right, okay. All right. So we okay with the?
Well, I think we make the suggestion that the entrance in the rear
Are
comes
you,
off.
are you part of this? You-
He's the,
If you're the owner, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah,
Come on
yeah.
up. How you doing?
Good evening, I'm
Good.
Vince Sanfilippo, I'm the landlord. The tenant is in the back room.
Here, no, I'll let you use this.
Yes, Vince Sanfilippo, I'm the landlord. The tenant is also in the room here.
Okay.
He'd prefer not to speak. The issue with entrance in the rears is parking, as we all know in Wayne. So we're trying to keep, everyone's eventually going to know the entrances in the rear, but maybe not necessarily up front. So we're trying to make sure the parking for that business stays in the back and doesn't conflict with
I
the
see.
mattress firm and the Cody firm up front.
Right.
So parking and the logical, fact of the matter that is where the entrance is, was the thinking, trying to keep the parking and the flow as best as possible. It is on the monument sign, and that's obviously proposed to
Right,
stay.
right.
So is it a little busy? Yes. To me, aesthetically, it's a little busy. But we were hoping to try to find the balance of tasteful and informative. So that's just the thinking.
Sure.
Just so you know, is it a crucial deal killer? I can't really. I don't think so.
Right.
But again, just trying to be informative. So the flow is
Yeah.
optimized. So
Well, they think we could
that's all I have.
possibly just put in the corner, parking
Yeah.
in rear.
Or even smaller. I
Yeah.
don't know if that lessens the busyness of it. I mean,
Our conflict is that we allow it and then, other businesses.
it's an
then-
unusual building. There aren't many
Yeah.
non-office building, multi-story,
Right.
buildings of that nature. It is a bit of an odd duck.
Is
So
this on the-
I agree with you. but
This would be on the second floor?
It is.
Yeah.
Correct. It's where plank was. It's a
And
replacement of plank.
Right.
the monument sign isn't illuminated in any way, right?
It is
Whether
illuminated. Only
internally
Yes, and it's metal panels, and only the ladders are backlit per code.
of the monument sign?
Correct.
Okay.
It's LED backlit. I don't believe parking and entrance in the rear. I honestly don't know if those are. I think it is lit, but I'm not even 100% sure, to be honest with you. Can I see this? No, it is lit.
Okay,
Yeah,
and it is a business that'll operate
The
at
letters
nighttime.
are lit. Sorry.
It is a business that'll operate at nighttime then, in the evening?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's their primary time.
Is it okay?
That's their primary time.
Well, I mean, you guys feel there's another way to maybe put a smaller sign on the front of that building? Kind of move
Yeah,
it
I'm
away
just,
from
I'm
the
just
the main
afraid of,
sign?
other applicants in the future
Yeah,
using this as an example.
sure, yeah.
Well, putting the sign where it is already, since the entrance for the business is not right underneath that, is already somewhat confusing or misleading. Because the way that it sits there, you naturally, without the entrance in the rear, you would naturally think the entrance is the door that's below the sign, like the other businesses.
That's
And we're
true.
restricted on height by putting it at the second floor elevation, right, Bob?
Yeah, you can't go higher than 15, so, yeah.
Again, if there's any, look, aesthetically, a little busy, you're not gonna get an argument out of me. Again, we're trying to get form and function to work,
Yeah.
in harmony as best as possible. So if we could, maybe shrink. I understand the precedent comment, I do. I just, I don't know how many buildings up and down Lancaster Avenue I can think of where this type of configuration is even exists. I
It's
mean,
not
most of
a
the
matter
retail
of-
single story, and then most of the office buildings are.
It's not a matter of comparing your location to another, it's a matter of other businesses using it as descriptive words.
Well, how many entrances in the rear, are there from a practical standpoint?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think there are many, that's my.
Well, one of the issue that we're facing.
The entrance of of that space is in the rear. There is no other way to access the second floor.
Right.
Other than in the back of the building, so it's not even.
By accessing it though from the west side of it, of the building essentially, kind of near where the Snap kitchen
Correct.
is, right? You
Because
can't
there's
go
a
on the
fence
other side. Right.
Per my neighbor's good graces.
Vince, you had mentioned that this use is going to be primarily at night.
Yes.
My experience with some of the users in there, particularly the mattress, is that they close at early evening, yes.
Cody closes at 5 or 6.
So I understand the need for pedestrians that move around back, but from a parking conflict standpoint, if this is the only user of this site after the other businesses have closed, parking shouldn't be an issue. Trying to direct those.
Mattress is open till 9. And your primary business is 4 to 9? Kids.
One of the issues that we're facing is also that the code is fairly restrictive of what the sign can say. And it says that you can have the building, and you can have the address of the building, and you can have a logo.
In the name of the business.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, to that point alone, that should sort of
Which
dictate that this can't.
It hamstrings what we can do without seeking further relief on the code issue.
And I know that we were hoping to be here last month, so I know that.
I know.
We don't want to come back next month, so. Look, we have it on the monument sign, and for a reason, I feel good
Yeah.
about that. Again, we're trying to make the flow work for everybody. If you would consider smaller font sizes, I think, that might be helpful. If you guys want to say no can do,
Well, why don't we try it without that sign? And if
We
you're
can always come back.
Yeah,
I
if you're
mean-
running into a big issue, come on back.
Yeah,
And
we
we'll
can
work
always
with
come
you.
back.
How's that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got it on the ground sign. Let's give it a whirl and see what happens, and
Fair
if
enough.
need be, come on back.
I'm going
How's
to
that?
excuse myself now.
Okay, thank you, Vince. Okay, so, Vince, one other thing, you have a lot of holes in the wall there, you're gonna patch all those up and everything?
They're patched, and they're already patched and painted with the same color of the stucco.
Okay, great,
But the sign is going over
Yeah.
where plank was, so they're gonna be covered up anyway.
Okay.
There aren't any holes now.
Okay.
When the plank sign came down, we spackled,
Good.
caulked, and we painted with the same color as the
Okay.
stucco.
yeah.
And we power washed the building from the mold
Oh, good.
mildew that came down.
Yeah,
So
it's a
we-
good-looking building.
No, and
You
we
hate
wanna
to be
keep
in-
it that
yeah,
way.
exactly.
We're very proud of it. so.
Right, okay, good, thanks.
But his sign is gonna go over virtually, it's almost off and on,
Right.
so, even the patches are gonna be covered.
Okay, good, great, thank you. All right, we okay with that then?
Yeah,
Is that a good plan, you think? Have them get started, if they need be, they'll come back and, if they're having major issues with that. And we'll go from there and try to figure something out, so. Or have a business owner figure something out.
so then we move to approve it with the removal of the parking and rear sign.
Yeah.
As currently presented, and with the added sort of,
That's
that,
it.
well, the white, so we've approved the sign in the past where white, we said it can't be illuminated, and there's a sign currently out there that's, the white background's illuminated. So in this case, we just have to state that the sign band, or the sign box of Sky Taekwondo, which is currently white, that cannot be illuminated. That white portion has to be opaque at night. The blue of Sky Taekwondo can be illuminated, but the white cannot be illuminated at night.
So the white needs to be black at night.
It needs to be non-lit, right?
Non-illuminated, right? So if you're right, the whole sign doesn't have to be illuminated.
Opaque, but not illuminated from behind.
Correct.
Okay. All right. What do you think? Give it a whirl?
Yeah.
The matter of DRB 2019-29 Sky Taekwondo Martial Arts. Motion to approve with the removal of entrance in the rear from wall signage, and that the box be opaque at night.
Actually, we dropped the ball on the ground sign. So before we finalize it, let's just look at the ground sign
Okay.
real quick. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, you're right.
We got tied up in that one, so. Yeah, that should be pretty cut and dry.
I guess I don't see it.
Okay. The
It's on the page, but.
sign here, the color's going to match, right? Every-
It's the same thing.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right, good. Okay, let me just finish it up then.
Motion to approve wall signage and monument signage, but removing entrance in the rear from wall signage. Motion to approve.
Okay,
Mr.
second.
Chairman, real quick, just because we were seeing them pop up, those flag signs and the sidewalk signs are creeping back in, so just
Okay.
a general reminder.
Okay.
Reminder that sandwich signs, any sidewalk signs not allowed in the Township of Radnor. But other than that, motion to approve wall signage and monument sign. Second?
Do we hear a second?
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Best of luck.
Okay, next is DRB 2019-30, the application of work at CoLab at 895 Glenbrook Avenue in Bryn Mawr for facade renovation and a ground sign. Hi there.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm Samantha Kim. I'm the owner and architect for Work at CoLab.
great.
So the property is at 895 Glenbrook. There's an existing building with a parking lot on the property. The existing building is stucco with a lot of windows on all of the different facades.
So it is, you purchased a building?
Yes.
Okay, what was it prior?
So the previous owner had an office on the first floor. I think they were private investigators. And
Okay.
there was an apartment on the second floor. So we're
Mhm.
keeping the apartment on the second floor and renovating the first floor.
Okay.
Well, we're renovating everything. But
Mhm.
so the existing building is stucco. There's an existing deck on the second floor as well as the third floor, a ramp to the back of the building. And yeah, there are a lot of windows and skylights throughout. So what we're proposing for the front elevation is to change the front door. It's a little bit beat up, so we're also going to make it a half-glass door because this will be the primary entrance to our workspace. On the side elevation where the parking lot is, we're proposing to close in this side window where the enclosed front porch is, because this will be our conference room space, and we plan to mount a TV on this wall. And then at the side, at the back door, we're again replacing the door to be a half-glass door. At the rear elevation, since the attic space is just going to be used for mechanical and storage, there's an existing door that comes out onto the third floor deck, but there's a really strange, dangerous like triangle piece there to connect to the deck. So we're getting rid of the deck for safety reasons. We're getting rid of the stair that leads up there because it's really steep, and then we're enclosing the door so that we're infilling the door. At the rear right now, or not right now, but the previous tenants for the apartment entered the second floor space by way of the exterior stairs that led to the second floor deck and went in the door at the rear of the building. But we would like to create a door opening at this window so that they can enter directly into the building and go up an interior staircase. And on the opposite side elevation, just because of how our interior plan has worked out, we'd like to remove 3 of the windows on this facade and enclose them. this is where the stair will be, so it's kind of cutting into this window space. And then we're eliminating these 2 windows as well. These are just the rendered elevations of the stucco. So we're kind of breaking this into 2 phases. We are aware that the stucco condition is not great right now. It's cracked. We did a stucco inspection. There are some areas where there's high moisture, but it's not in such terrible condition that it's going to fall off the building at any time soon. So we've spoken to many exterior contractors, and they said that we can phase it. So right now, we would like to keep it as stucco and infill the or cover the infilled openings with a white vinyl for now. So this is just. We would have a small set of stairs leading to the rear apartment entry, and then just the infilled window openings. But in the future, we do hope to do a full facade renovation, remove all of the stucco, any rotted sheathing, correct any deficiencies in the exterior of the building, and then put on new hardy plank siding. So we're proposing the main plank would be in night gray, and the trim would be Arctic white.
Questions from the board? Jason?
Do you want to talk about the signage yet?
We'll wait on the signs.
The white vinyl inserts in the sort of existing, the fenestration, the openings, right? How are they, what do you think they are? I mean, is that, the way it's sort of drawn, it's sort of like a louvered piece? Is it one fixed panel that's sort of similar to the casement?
I think it would just be like the 5-inch vinyl siding that's just framed so that it doesn't
Oh, I see.
look unfinished at the edges.
What do you think?
Is there a timeline in the sequencing? Like, I'm just afraid we approve the white vinyl infills and then they just stay forever.
It's not going to be forever. I mean, we're hoping, if business goes well and everything, we're hoping that we would be able to recoup some of our the finances that have gone into the building, and we're hoping for hopefully 2 or 3 years.
So this is a new business, right?
Yes.
And what exactly will you be doing?
It'll be a co-working space, so renting out desks and.
How many tenants will you be having, do you think?
We have space for 13 desks, so hopefully.
What else, guys? Are you going to do much landscaping changes?
Well, right now the front of the building has the main landscaping bed, and it's just full of weeds. So I actually just emailed the landscaper yesterday to come and do some work on that. So I'm not sure what's a weed and what's a plant. I think I see some flowers in there. So after they clear it out, I guess we'll see.
You're not blowing it all apart?
No.
Over.
I mean, it'll stay as a landscaping.
Yeah, okay.
Landscape
So
bed.
existing, we'll say?
Yeah.
Okay. Parking?
Parking is existing. I think for the phase 2 part, we'll probably look at repaving, and there are some cracked areas on the asphalt, so we'll probably look at repaving that. And
how about for trash?
Trash, they kept their trash cans under the stairs here.
So you won't need a dumpster or anything?
No.
No dumpster, okay.
No.
All right. You should just kind of fence it in, make it nice looking, so.
Yeah.
Okay. What else, guys? Make sure you put your address number somewhere where it's going to be visible.
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't put that on there, but yeah, we'll probably put it by the door.
Okay.
And there's a new light going above, just a gooseneck by the entrance.
You guys have any questions more about the materials or the actual building or renovation of the building? questions there, Tim?
I think I'm just more curious on the detail of the vinyl. So
Yeah.
you're gonna remove the window, right?
Yeah.
Then infill it with framing,
Yeah,
then sheathe it,
yeah.
and then
I
we'll
think they were gonna tie
do
back
some
it
sort
and
of
put,
weatherproofing and
yeah.
and then frame it, I guess, proud of the stucco.
Yeah, it would be proud of the stucco.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just showing it framed because I
Just trying to
didn't
get a
want it to be
visual
all.
of how it would look.
Yeah, it's the same. You know, you
Never
concerned
really
with,
seen that detail.
you know, in that it's proud, you would want to make sure it's flashed properly above, right?
Yeah, I just would be concerned for you, for,
Sure. Additional
'Cause there's
Moisture
5
problems.
moisture issues,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know, you're already having moisture issues with the stucco, so
right.
something for you to be mindful of.
Sure. Yeah, I'll ask them to flash above, around everything.
'Cause there's 5 instances of those, right? And they're all different sizes essentially,
Yes.
right? You have 3 on the, sorry, just looking at which direction, right? I think 3 on that. 1, 4, 5 at the top there.
Well, really, the alternative to them at this point in time would be to put stucco up where they are when you're planning to eventually phase out and put the siding on, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have a firm timeline for that, but
I mean, in our minds, we're thinking 2 to 3 years. You know,
And why that detail and not just patch?
the contractor just said it would be easy for him to put vinyl siding up. I
Waiting
didn't
for
really
that.
question it. I figured we were gonna rip down the stucco, so why put stucco back up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Do we care, Kevin? I mean,
Not particularly. I mean, ultimately, how they construct it and weatherproof it, while it's a concern, because we don't want to invite
Yeah.
water intrusion, I think that that's something that is a construction detail that ultimately will get resolved
Yeah.
when they reside the entire house.
I guess aesthetically,
All right.
that is what it is.
Okay.
well, I would weigh in that I don't think it should be white,
Okay.
right? I think
some sort
in
of
white, that
cream
contrast
color
is just
that-
gonna stand out that much more,
Okay.
right? And so to some degree, you know, if you lived within like I'm not saying go to the midnight gray, but almost something that's just, you know, you can stay in that sort of taupey color of the,
Sure.
of
Of the
the
existing
stucco a
building.
little bit. But then to that point, if it matches too much, it'll look bad too.
I think
Right, like
that's
it-
why the weight almost actually works, I think.
Well, and I'm just afraid, like, if over time, and ideally, I hope the best for you that it is 2-3 years, but, right, like, we all know how things go,
Yeah.
and it could be a little bit longer, does that thing start showing some sort of weathering of being
Sure.
there too much, where if it was just something that was gray? And/or, the other option, in my mind, and this is a little bit costlier, is trimming, you know, framing of phase 1, framing the existing windows in that, with that same trim, because you're doing it essentially in phase 2, you're gonna frame the windows so they, you know, pop out a little bit more.
Oh, so also,
did that in phase
when we
1.
remove the stucco, we're probably going to remove the
windows, and there's gonna be
replace the
new windows.
windows. So,
Just saying, it kind of gives some, it'll look as if you renovated the entire elevation, the
Sure.
entire facade, when
Yeah.
all you're really doing is just putting trim on the existing
Yeah.
windows. It's a really easy way to just quickly give it a fresh look. And so and then it allows for those 5 instances to kind of look as if they're part of that elevation instead of just an afterthought.
But ultimately, doesn't any additional cost at this point delay the end result?
I mean, that's very small amount of just like framing out the window with a little bit of vinyl trim. It just helps, because the other thing too is you want to market this a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Day 1, it wants to
don't-
look nice because you
yeah.
want to get people in there, not year 3
Mm-hmm.
to get people in there. And that would be my only, and that's an encouragement. That's not, I'm not, you know, dictating that by any stretch, but I think that's something that again, refreshes the entirety of the facade.
sure.
And if anything, maybe it's just the two that the collab sort of aligns with more.
Okay. Is that something I could talk to my contractor about and see what the cost would be?
I
and
think, I
go from there?
would move to approve this without that. It doesn't need to be done. Again, it's
Okay.
more of a suggestion.
Okay.
All right, good.
I
Okay,
mean,
sure.
they kind of look like closed shutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I don't think anyone but us will question it.
I think you had a good idea there, just kind of tie everything together.
Might just
cap those
help a
existing
little bit.
windows. and-
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
Right. No, I know it's an additional cost, but it just,
All right,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Yeah.
I might-
yeah,
Okay. So why
I'm
don't-
beating a dead horse here.
So why don't we move to the sign?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
So, it's a freestanding ground sign. It would be a freestanding ground sign at the front of the building. We plan to put like LED strip lighting behind a metal cutout sign, and that's offset mounted on a wood backing with posts on a steel base.
Okay. Certainly the size fits and, yeah. Any issues with that ground sign? The lighting's okay for you guys?
It's nice. I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, I do. I think it looks real good. Yeah. Jason?
And the post will be pressure treated. The wood, that's sort of the square sign is.
I mean, something that's weather resistant, maybe an Ipe or teak or something that
Okay.
wouldn't warp over time.
All right.
And you would see those posts extend on the back side of that, right? So whatever, you're just kind of, the posts are gonna come up
Yeah.
basically almost 3 feet out of the ground, if not 4 feet out of the ground.
Yeah.
And then you'll just apply
Yeah.
that sort of sign face to those posts.
Right.
And then that black, is that like a black
Metal.
and steel or?
It's powder coated metal
Okay.
cut out.
And
Mhm.
everything is removed as far as, is it just the collab that's gonna be sort of
No,
removed
so the
from
whole
that?
sign will be mounted like.
Right, but as
Oh.
far as the part that's illuminated, or the holes that are cut out of that sign, is it the collab that's
Work
cut
at
from
Colab
that?
Bryn Mawr.
All the pieces are,
Yeah,
everything
those
you
would be
see is
cut
there.
out.
So I think it's fine, so you're illuminating all the letters that you would see at
Right.
night with an LED strip that's coming,
Mhm.
right?
Guys, all right? Okay. Good.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Any other comments from the board? Questions? Questions, comments?
No.
No? Okay, Jason, want to take it?
Yeah, all right. So in the matter of DRB 2019-30, the application for facade renovation and ground sign for the work at Colab at 895 Glenbrook Avenue, I move to approve.
Is there a second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Lots
Thank
of luck.
you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, best of luck.
Next is DRB 2019-31, the application of Lawrence Hair Salon at 377 West Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a wall sign. Hi, Greg.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, I'm Greg Feld from KC Sign Company representing Lauren Hairstyle. And they are moving into the shopping center here and would like to put up a set of channel letters in keeping with the other stores in that strip.
So you guys all know this is where the farmer's market is.
Oh, yeah, by the
Yeah,
farmer's market.
Stratford Shopping Center. Okay, so vacant store, I know they're under renovations right now.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They close to opening up?
they're getting there, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're pretty close.
Okay, good, good. All right,
Left
Greg,
it up to 'em.
run through, let us know what you got there.
Okay, well, it's two sets of channel letters on raceways. The top line is Lauren, the main name, and then Hairstyle with their little logo, the little curly hair logo, on the second raceway on the bottom. The Lauren is proposed to be day-night vinyl. I included the sample in there, right? So during the day, that'll show up as black on the facade, and then it'll light up as white at night. And then Hairstyle should be a sample of the color there. That'll be printed. The teal and the purpley color for the curl, that will be printed directly on the acrylic. And they'll light up the colors as you see them there on that little print sample.
Pretty couldn't drive it. How tall is the Lauren, the letters?
The
on
Lauren letter 17?
15.
Yeah.
15.
15,
Yeah,
right.
we've had people want to get 20-something on this, that location.
And hairstyle is 10 and a half.
15 is good.
I think it looks really nice.
Greg, the only issue is, and I talked to George, the owner, is the backdrop.
Right.
And I know it's in disrepair,
Mhm.
but I think there possibly is plans for doing the whole shopping center over, so.
He's been talking to us about that, yeah.
Where's it at?
I don't even know if he knows exactly where it's at, but
Okay.
he's been being told by the property owner, by the landlord, that he is going to be redoing the facade.
Right.
And cleaning everything up all the way across. He's not sure, I'm not sure, I don't think George is sure even what the timetable is on that.
Yeah, so you may be putting the sign up, taking it down in a few more months and putting it back up
Whenever they
again?
get around to that, we would take it down while they do the renovations and then
Okay.
just put it right back up on the
Okay.
newly renovated facade. Yeah.
All right. So I guess the best thing I can tell you is just try to clean the backdrop up as best you can.
Yeah, I mean, we're open to any suggestions for that. We can
Right.
clean it up and fill it as best
Yeah.
as we can right
I mean,
now.
ideally, it'd be nice to change the whole panel, but I don't know if the property owner wants to go through that expense.
It would be, yeah,
Knowing
but-
they're gonna take it down soon, so,
I hope he gets around to doing that soon. That's
Okay.
my understanding, probably by the end of the year.
okay.
Hopefully sooner, but
You guys all right with that? It's pretty bad, but, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Window signage, anything like that's
actually,
gonna come
no.
before us?
They might just put a couple hours on the window.
Yeah,
4 hours.
that's fine.
And nothing on the monument. They're actually going to have no
Okay.
visibility there on the monument sign. or anything.
And their square footage is okay, they're allowed 35, they're 3375, so they're in. Just make sure, again, the address is on the front of the building and on
I believe
the
it's
back
over the door now. If
Yeah,
not, we'll
okay.
put it over there.
Just make sure.
Mm.
What else?
No, it's fairly straightforward.
It's actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys all right with it?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Who's Tim's turn? Sure. Okay.
In the matter of DRB 2019-31, the application of Lauren Hairstyle for approval of a wall sign, I move for approval of the application.
Here, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Greg, you okay with everything?
Great, perfect, yeah.
Okay,
All right,
good.
thank
Good to
you.
see you. Thanks. All right, next is DRB 2019-32, the application of Duncan at 110 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for a wall sign and an awning sign. Duncan? Not?
No.
No? Okay. All right, we'll jump over them. We'll call them again at the end of the night, see if they turn up. And we'll jump over to DRB 2019-33, the application of Villanova University, the refractory at 800 East Lancaster Avenue in Villanova for wall signage. Lonnie, again, we gotta call these up. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
Should we do it that way, or? I'm gonna have the blueprints, I can do it this way too. Yes. That's not good. Why do people do this? No, that's what's all.
Okay, whenever you guys are ready. Take your time.
Thanks.
Okay,
This should be an easy one.
let's hope. Yeah,
Make it easy for me, please.
we certainly will. Yeah.
here for a reason. You're killing me. Smalls. All right,
Little sand lot there?
exactly. And it's been a lot of that this week. Everyone's killing it.
Killing me, Smalls.
Can't tell you how many times my kids watch that.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. Huh? Oh, I can start. I'm sorry. Oh, well, I was kind of waiting for it to be on the screen. Sorry. My name is Mary Lou Smith, and I work at Villanova University. I have 2 applications here tonight. One is for the new Performing Arts Center, and that's this one right here. The other is for the restaurant, the Refectory. So we'll start with this, and if it shows up, this is the location. You can see it. It's at the corner of Lancaster Avenue and Ithan. If you have driven by recently, there's 2 doors in the front, and if you got it? Well, it's not on. So that's okay. Let's just do it this way for now.
We should just note that this is DRB 2019-34 we're starting with.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah, Performing Arts Theater.
So if you see on the first sheet here, I'm pointing, there's 2 doors that are the entrances to the Performing Arts Center. And above those doors, as well in front, you'll see a monument sign.
Ready with this?
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
So you can see here, this is a monument sign that is sitting on the corner. If you go to the next page, the monument sign is going to be the John and Joan Mullen Center for the Performing Arts Center. It's 3 feet high by approximately, I think, 13 feet wide. There's another drawing that shows that. And over the door is going to be metal letters in bronze that will be the John and Joan Mullen Center, Center for the Performing Arts. And it's going to be over both doors because there are 2 doors and it would make it be awkward not to put it over both of them. Let me just see what else. There's a better picture. This is actually the rendering.
You're going to have any kind of lighting on those signs over the door?
So over the door, there will be no lighting over those signs. However, the John and Joan Mullen sign, there is an under, if you look at the last page, I believe it shows you there's a little cove in there to put lighting. So it's not like anything that is going to be on the ground flashing up at it. And I'm not sure if you have any questions or.
Pretty simple application. I don't know if you guys have some questions and comments.
And that
The only thing
pretty
I see,
much is how it's going to look.
Yeah, the only thing I see with the sign, and it's just, you know, thinking my goofy way of thinking, it's going to be a place for kids who are going to sit there and hang
And
out.
Interesting that you should say that. That's one of the reasons that we made it that kind of a sign. We actually thought it would be a nice place for people to actually sit before a show or something like that. So there are signs over the door, but we kind of looked at it as a seat wall as well.
Okay.
Yeah. It was sort of the intention.
Okay, all right. No, it looks great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yes. What do you think?
No, I think everything's good. My only concern would be if, and I'm looking at the detail of the light cove, at 2 inches, trying to see the cut letters of the sign to make sure that basically what ends up happening is there's enough throw on that light to actually illuminate the entirety of the sign. Like my fear would be that it would kind of just hit the top of the cut letters essentially.
Well, that whole, the light fixture that's going there, it's a tube of light that goes along the entire
Right.
length of the sign, so it should hit it.
Just trying to see the depth of the cut letters somewhere. That's all I wanted to see. Because I think, it'll be fine, I'm sure, but I just want to make sure that you.
I don't have the
your
shop
sign gets
drawings,
read well.
yeah, thank you. I don't have the shop drawing of showing what the depth is,
Right.
but I'm hoping that my experts who want this to be seen
Right.
are paying
I
attention
don't
to
doubt
that.
It's just,
Yeah.
you know, voicing concern on your behalf, not.
Thank you. I will bring it up to them and ask.
So, and it would just mean that that detail on the sections, right? So I'm looking at L6.1, I'm looking at drawing 6 of L6.1, that maybe that detail is a little bit more than 2 inches.
Okay.
That would be it. You know, if it's 3, just enough, like I said, to get enough throw of that light to illuminate the entirety of the facade. That's all.
That's a good point. I will
Yeah.
definitely ask that.
What do you guys think down there?
Looks great.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah.
Looks good. Kevin, is there going to be a need for an address number on that building, or?
Interesting.
No, there will not be.
There will not be, okay. All right.
No. Actually.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about addresses, that's what Mary Lou was referencing, for that entire new campus and working through the 911 system and not just addressing this aspect, but the entire campus. So there's ongoing discussions with
Okay.
this, the county, and emergency responders.
All right. Any other
Thank you.
questions, comments?
No, I think it's.
You guys are good? Questions, comments for the board?
No, we're good, thanks.
Okay. Lost track here. Whose turn is it? You want to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
So in the matter of DRB 2019-34, the application for Villanova University Performing Arts Center at 800 East Lancaster Avenue for ground sign and a monument sign, or monument sign and the wall signs, I move to approve.
Here, a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next application will be DRB 2019-33, Villanova University, the refractory at 800 East Lancaster Avenue in Villanova for wall signage. And I should just mention, I don't think we have anybody from the public here, but if there is, please stand up and state your views, but it doesn't look like anybody's here. So, okay, we'll go to the next one.
Okay, so here is, at the corner of Lancaster Avenue and Ithan, we have a new restaurant going in at Villanova, and we are proposing putting 2 signs, one for a coffee shop that is very close, it's on the east side of the site, and, thank you, Fana, and as you turn the corner, you can see is going to be the restaurant. They're going to be operated by the same operator. We own it. We have an operator coming in that's going to take care of it. And the coffee shop is called Parliament Coffee, which is a brand. I think there was a shop downtown, and we are going to use that here at Villanova. The restaurant will be called The Refectory, and these are 2x3 signs. They're just metal signs that will be on the wall with lighting over it.
Is there another restaurant going in, or is that pretty much it?
That's it.
That's the one they've talked about.
That's
then.
it.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it was something just for
Let's
the
not
kids
talk about crosses.
on campus. Okay, all right.
This is the restaurant.
This is it. All
Yes. So it's kind of, not very, it's understated,
Yeah.
but we think pretty classic.
Sure. Tim, you guys think?
It looks great.
Colin? All right.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think it looks great. Jason?
Yeah, and there's a lighting sconce, it's centered over each sconce, right? Or
Yes.
centered under each sconce, essentially, at each entrance. So there'll be some sort of ambient light that helps that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So just out of
So it's good.
curiosity, the public wants to go to the restaurant. Do you park in the parking garage?
They will, yes.
Okay. All right. There's no parking behind the building as such?
No, the parking behind the building is going to be for students that have passes for it.
Okay.
So we're trying to control, parking is a challenge for us,
Yeah.
as we all know, and we're trying to do our best to control it and to, identify spots for people to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay. That should be interesting.
it should be.
Yeah.
Every year's a learning year.
Yeah, right. Okay. What else? You guys all right with that? Okay. Public? No public here? Okay. All right.
Yes.
So we'll ask,
In the matter of DRB 2019-33, Villanova University, 2 wall signs for restaurant and cafe. Motion to approve.
here a second.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you
was
very
pretty
much.
easy. Thank you.
Yeah, there was. Thank
Thanks
you.
for that.
Appreciate it.
You bet. All right, so DRB 2019-35, the Villas at Bryn Mawr Apartment and Homes at 105 Charles Drive in Bryn Mawr for wall signage and freestanding signage. Hello there.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi.
My name's Richard Crawford. I'm a designer and project manager with Bartru Signs. We're located in Orwigsburg, Pennsylvania. I'm here on behalf of Morgan Properties, and with me is Lauren Merkheiser. She's the design director for Morgan Properties, and we're here about the villas.
Okay, good. So it looks like you have a lot of signs for us tonight.
Yeah, we designed a package that replaces what was there, or what is there.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is it pretty much like everything is?
It's like for like.
Yeah.
There's some reduction, and one's a little bit taller.
Okay.
But we don't know which ones are which yet.
Okay.
Right.
Well, why don't you just kind of walk us through, all
Yeah.
right?
So, I saw the first gentleman use this handy pointer. Okay, here we go.
There we go.
Sign number 1 is a main identification sign at Conestoga and Roberts. And sign number 2 is at the intersection setback at Conestoga and Glenbrook. And then I have 3 labeled number 3. There's actually 7 signs total. 3A, 3B, and 3C, and I can't remember which is which, but I have photos I'll show you. So we have a directional sign at David and Roberts that gets drivers in the one-way entrance. And then we have another leasing center entrance sign on Glenbrook and Charles that direct people back. There's one internal. We found one internal. It's just at a turn in the drive, and it directs people back to the leasing center because you wouldn't know where you were going if you were new or a visitor. Number 4 is the main freestanding sign in front of the leasing center. There's one there now. And then number 5 is a very small building-mounted sign right over the doorway.
Okay. All right, so we'll look at each one one by one. How's that?
Yeah, I don't know if these are going to. I don't know if these are going to show up. There are photographs in the design file too, but this is number 1 as it exists today, Conestoga and Roberts.
Okay.
This number 2 is the one at Conestoga and Glenbrook.
Why don't we look at the new one, the
Okay.
new sign number 1?
Well, let's
So we'll see.
we'll go
all-
to
all
the
three.
designs then. Yes. You can turn. Yes, Lauren. You can turn the pages.
Okay, same location.
Yeah, can you put that up next to it? They might be able to get it in there. All right, so right now, sign 1 is 18 square feet, and it's 5 foot tall. It's single-sided, and it's catty-cornered to the intersection. We're proposing a slightly smaller sign, 15 square feet, but double-sided in a V shape. So we looked at the code, and it can't be more than a 45-degree angle. And we're proposing to move it 2 feet up the slope. It's too close to the corner and the utility pole. Sign 1 is internally illuminated. It has a metal face. So the background does not light up at all.
There you go.
The copy is routed out and pushed through. The posts are metal. And it was hard for me to show, I gotta say, it was hard to show the V in the photo, but we're trying to suggest that it will be a V shape at that intersection.
Okay. All right, comments on sign number 1? Tim?
The part that will be illuminated at night, will be the words, the villas at Bryn Mawr, right?
And the telephone number. Apartment homes are probably too small
Yeah.
to push through.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of these with Morgan. So this more or less conforms to the branding they use at a lot of locations. There are variations, but when the letters get too small, we can't push them through.
Okay.
And the strip down the bottom, the gray strip, does not light up.
Okay. All right, placement, you guys all right? Height, that little 2-foot range, you're okay? You all right with that, Tim?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right. Like you said, it gets away from the pole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, when you're talking about the placement of the V at that intersection, is it gonna be straight up where it's gonna be 22.5 degrees
on this frontage on the Conestoga, and then that same on the Roberts, or is it gonna be skewed so that you see it more on, or, you know, adjusted based upon which road?
I probably would ask Lauren how to orient it, so.
So the whole idea, this is a
I'm
really
sorry.
tough
If you
corner.
could-
Oh, yeah.
Can you just use a mic,
Oh,
please?
sorry.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
This is a really tough corner with the electrical pole and the wiring there. The sign right now is just hard to see. So the way in which Google takes you in is through Roberts. So the way we're hoping to angle this sign is if you're coming either from Roberts or the opposite way on Conestoga, that you would be able to see it clearly. If you're coming up Roberts and you've already passed the villas on your right-hand side, the idea is it wouldn't necessarily cater to you, but it would cater to the other three directions at that street light.
Gotcha.
And then in terms of the degree and the placement, you know, with the 45-degree angle, you know, we'll have to position it accordingly so that it can cater to as many of those three sides as possible.
The reason I asked, I live right up the street, so I understand that corner, and I lived in the apartments across the street from these.
Yeah.
So I know this area very well, so that's why I was wondering, because it does seem like Conestoga and that one little offshoot of Roberts would be your main.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
Is there an address number on those signs or not?
Pardon me?
Is there an address number on those signs or not?
No.
Probably, if you had an opportunity to put it on there, I think we should. Again, for emergency vehicles.
The buildings, for each apartment building, they
Yes,
have
it's
their
own
own
address.
separate addresses, right?
Oh, yeah.
Correct. So each building, it would be a certain address number and then a letter. So it would be, you know, 200 David
Mhm.
Drive, Building H, or
Oh,
201
okay.
David Drive, Building J. So they're all very specific, and each building has their own
Okay,
signage as
so it might
well.
cause more
That's what I was-
confusion than
exactly.
anything. Okay, fine. Sorry about that then. All right, good. All right, good. And they're not taller than 6 feet, that's your max?
No, we're at
on those
5,
signs?
and the
Yeah.
existing's at 5.
Okay, so you're good shape there. Okay, so sign number 2?
This is at the corner of Conestoga and Glenbrook. There is an existing faux monument sitting way back up there on the hill. And we, after surveying this many times, we think we need to replace it, remove it and replace it. The existing sign is 4 foot 6 high. This would be 6 foot tall. This is the one that's a little bit taller, but still within code that.
Right,
Yes.
yes,
The existing sign, when I measured it, was 16.5 square feet. This will be 15 square feet.
right.
Although it's not the 3 by 5, it's 3 foot 9 by 4, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. This is the other sign that would be internally illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
Same design, same construction, same routed face, same push through. This is single-sided. It's just facing the intersection.
Right, okay.
In this case, the arrow and the words leasing and center are going to also be pushed through and illuminated, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good. We all right with that one? Look good? All right.
Just
Is
for
the leasing center
confirmation.
open at night?
Yeah, so some nights we're open till 6, and then sometimes seasonally we change and have late hours open till 7.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. Jason, you had a question?
I was just gonna, the blue is not a push through, is it, or?
In
it is,
general,
but not
it is.
illuminated? Will that also be illuminated then?
Yes.
So the blue is, you'll see a blue line?
Yes.
At night, okay. And that's on the previous sign as well?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, good. All right, I guess sign 3A?
Yeah.
Tim, you're okay with the leasing center being illuminated after hours?
Not 100%, but
Right.
If I can just add something about the leasing center, so it may be hard to tell from the pictures, but someone new to this area might think by seeing that sign that this entrance here is the way to get into the property, but this opening in the front actually goes nowhere. It's just a small little circle where people can park. So the idea really of this sign in general is to identify the property, but also to get them to keep going left to then make the right into this next sign and not identify that as a main sign and a main entrance where they would pull in and then have to turn around and come back out of that intersection. So we eliminated all information from that sign except for what we thought was most important, which is getting them to the leasing center.
Okay.
My main issue with it really is when you're talking about that sign right there, that is the preeminent sign for announcing that that complex is what it is. When you're coming off of County Line and you're coming down off of Conestoga and you see, that's the one that you see there.
Right.
The one down at Roberts and Conestoga, while that might get just as much traffic, it is not announcing that complex to me when I drive by. That's really, it's designating it's there, but it's not saying this is the complex. So when you're talking about that, you're looking here at what really is an instructional sign rather than the sign announcing what you are. That's where I am. Plus the concept of having anything other than the name of the entity illuminated at night gives me some.
No, I hear you. And a lot of the issue that we run into is in the winter. I mean, it gets dark at 4:30 and we stay open. So we still have people coming, looking for the leasing center. And unlike most of our communities, you know, our office here doesn't stand alone in its own separate building. It's an apartment that basically was converted, so it's in a building. So that's, you know, really why we see it important to direct people to where to go for the leasing center. And if we're going to have a sign here where they have an existing stone large monument that, you know, after looking at it, we evaluated just really doesn't serve much of a purpose. We thought put a sign in its place that, you know, actually would serve the customer best and get them to where they need to be.
And frankly, with the flow of traffic in that complex, it's confusing as it is.
Right. Yeah, it is.
So that's my own personal perception of this facility.
And with number 2, we did the best we could because we actually have a version where the sign is all the way out front behind the fence. But then we thought people would think that's where you're supposed to
Right.
go.
We don't want them to pull in there.
Right.
That's the point.
So we sort of played it where it lays, in a sense.
Okay.
Okay,
right,
so
we're-
good to move on to 3A?
Yeah, 3A, please.
3A is the one at Charles and Glenbrook. There is an existing sign there. It's for 4.5 square feet. The proposed sign is 5.3 square feet, equal in height, 5 foot tall. The sign that's there now, for some reason, is only single-sided, which I did not understand. So we're twirling it a little bit and trying to give a driver information that they turn in here. It faces the other way, which I think is a one-way street, or a dead end, I think.
Glenbrook?
No, yeah, that's it. If you keep going straight, it dead ends.
Yeah. So it's copy on both sides.
Okay.
Non-illuminated. 4-inch square aluminum posts with a 4-inch smooth-faced aluminum panel and flat vinyl copy. So nothing lights up.
Okay. Pretty easy. All right. Okay. 3B?
I'm going to predict this is the one at Roberts and David. There are 2 signs at this entrance right now. We're proposing to eliminate one and maintain the one if you're facing David coming off of Roberts on the left-hand side. And this sign would go exactly where the old sign is.
Illuminated?
Pardon me?
Illuminated?
No. No, it's not illuminated. And we kept this one low, just like the other one, because it's got to fit like a little window, so a driver can see it both ways, and you don't interfere with everything else going on at the intersection there.
And so you said, and just so I get this straight, you're going to be on the side of the road heading towards Conestoga rather than the one heading down the hill.
Yes.
That's good, because that other sign is.
It's set so far back, I was
It's
like.
set back because if it was set up any closer, you couldn't see down the road and people fly up Roberts.
Right.
Correct.
So again, it's not ideal, but we think we catch both directions where it is.
Right.
3C?
And this is the freestanding leasing center directional that we found inside the complex. I guess it's on David.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a big bend in the road. It just cues people that they're supposed to, you'll be turning left to maintain to go to the leasing center, because you can't see the leasing center at this point. Same construction, 4-inch square aluminum posts, a 4-inch deep smooth face aluminum panel, flat vinyl copy, and then we're indicating on the opposite side, if you're going this way, it's
You're
one
right.
way. Yeah.
Okay, good. Guys all right with that one?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we're at, I guess, sign number 4?
Yes. Sign number 4 is in front of the leasing center. The existing sign is 5 square feet. This one is the one that's a little bit bigger. This is 12 square feet. And in looking at the property and the parking along the road, I recommended it to be a little bit taller than what's there. So we're at 6 feet to the top, which is within the code.
That's all right? Yeah, looking good? Good.
Same construction, flat vinyl, non-illuminated.
Non-illuminated, okay. So it looks like the last one is a wall sign, right?
The last one's the wall sign, and it's hard to see, but up there above the little entrance will be a fabricated aluminum panel, about 1.5 inches deep, flat face, no illumination, to cover over exactly what's there. So it's a like for like on this one.
Okay. Looks good. Are there any questions? You guys
I had
all right?
one question,
Go ahead,
just
Colin.
for curiosity, not that I care, but would you be able to put the leasing office on timer,
On sign 2.
on sign 2? Is that possible?
timer?
On a
It's back.
timer, so it goes off at 7 o'clock, whenever the office closes.
Yes.
Bottom half.
I'm just asking curiosity.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that much, but
During the day.
No, but it will come on, let's say, at 4 o'clock.
Right.
And then when you run the feed out to that sign, you're going to have a timer at the
Right.
box or the panel.
We
Yeah.
can control that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, good call.
oh, I like that. I didn't like the other way. I still don't like it 100%, but well, at least they're illuminated
Yeah.
during leasing hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Does that work?
Yep, we can make that happen.
Can the name stay illuminated?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that's the package.
All right, any other questions for us? Comments, questions? You guys all right?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, thanks. It was a nice, clean application, so
Yeah, it's a nice
appreciate the work you
package.
put into it, so, yeah,
Worked on this a few times.
okay. Who wants to take this one?
I'm going to say directional arrow guy.
You want to take that one? You can mention about the timer.
Make it a
Tim's
condition of
neighborhood.
approval for the.
Tim's neighborhood?
I'll do it.
All right. Yeah, excuse me.
You were referencing a timer. Which sign was that for? Because we were.
Sign 2, the
number
one
2.
at Conestoga and Glenbrook. So the one that now has the stone monument there, that's gonna be replaced.
It came up with the.
Sorry, it came up in the discussion of the other one, so I just wanted to get clarity.
Yeah, that sign has the same directional arrow with the leasing center on it.
That's the only one that's internally illuminated with an arrow. The other ones that are directional with arrows were not illuminated. So,
In the matter of DRB 2019-35, the application of the Villas at Bryn Mawr Apartment Homes, motion for, or application for approval of wall sign on one building and additional freestanding signs. I move for conditional approval of the application subject to the sign number 2, the sign at the corner of Glenbrook and Conestoga, having a timer which applies to the illuminated leasing center and arrow such that the light will turn off after the leasing center is closed. Move to approve subject to that condition.
Okay, here a second.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks. Okay, so there's
Come back to.
2 that did not, or hadn't been here. We'll just read them out again. DRB 2019-13, the application of IM Health Walker Family Properties. Doesn't look like the applicant is here, so we're going to move for a denial. Can we hear a second on that?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the other is DRB 2019-32, the application of Duncan at 110 East Lancaster Avenue in Wayne for wall signage and awning signage. And we're going to give that applicant a continuation. Can we hear a second on that?
I second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And is there any other business for the board tonight? All right. We'll see you next month then. Thank you.
Thank you.